This is Shirley Jan Johnson, July 14th, 2024. I seriously doubt there was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump's life. I believe this was a false flag type operation, and here's why. I know you probably have seen this on the news, but watch closely as Donald Trump appears to have been shot on the ear. He grabs his ear with his right hand. He immediately examines his fingers, and as you can see, there's no blood. And then he slowly ducks behind the podium. After security came to his aid and lifted him up, now there's blood all around Trump's ear and a couple of streaks on his face. And notice how the blood runs just neatly around his ear, as if someone just wiped it on. No runs or drips on his clothes. So how did the 2 streaks of blood get on his face, since clearly there are no runs from his ear to his face? Now, news reporters said that security immediately rushed Donald Trump from the stage. He wasn't rushed off the stage. Watch how long security stayed crouched behind the podium before they finally lifted Trump up and started escorting him off the stage. They even paused while Trump made a fist and shouted to the crowd. Then he waved to the crowd with his right hand, and there was still no blood on his hand.
That chart's a couple of months old, and if you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened. So here's what we know at this hour. What sounds like shots rang out. The former president grabbed his ear, and as he fell, was immediately surrounded by security behind the podium. And as you can see in these images, he was surely rushed off the stage. This is an emerging situation. NBC's Dasha Burns is at that Trump rally north of Pittsburgh and joins us now. Dasha, what do we know?
Jose, we're still waiting to confirm a lot of the details here. A lot of question marks still up in the air. Here's what I can tell you from my vantage point, because I was standing right here as Trump first came onto the stage. He was just a few minutes into his speech at this rally. I was in front of a camera, and I was walking off of the press risers here down below to the ground level where all of the general attendants are, as we heard what sounded like gunshots ring out. My producer and I ran to take cover, as did several of the people that are in attendance here, most people ducking down, the press that were behind the risers, press that were at our media tables, ducking down under the tables as we weren't sure.
Shortly after he left the stage, he was seen making another loose fist, and there was still no blood on his hands or clothing. This just seems so fake to me. Think about it, people. Trump supposedly got shot in the ear with an AR-type rifle. He checks his ear. There's no blood. He slowly ducks behind the podium. Security comes, crouches down behind the podium with Trump. After a while, security lifts Trump up, and there's blood around his ear and a couple of streaks on his face. And his ear is still intact. Now, this is what Donald Trump said. "I was shot with a bullet that pierced the upper part of my right ear. I knew immediately that something was wrong in that I heard a whizzing sound, shots, and immediately felt the bullet ripping through the skin. Much bleeding took place." Seriously? Now, does this look like much bleeding? As I stated earlier, it looks like someone just took and painted the outer edge of his ear. If there was much bleeding, you would see blood running down his face, probably down the back of his ear onto his clothing. And as I stated, his ear appears to be intact. He said the bullet ripped through his skin. Like I said, I believe this was a false flag operation. That's how I see it. I know you know the definitions of words, but I'm going to give a definition anyway. False flag operation. This is from Wikipedia. A false flag operation is an act committed with the intent of disguising the actual source of responsibility and pinning blame on another party. And that's exactly what they did. They claimed that Biden did it. I knew they were going to say that. So I just wanted to share that with you all. And I'm sure many of you probably picked up on the same thing.